Hello, my name is Caroline Poynton from Bury, Manchester, and I am recording Paul Fawn and Richard about Jess Phillips. This is fucking funny because I've been saying she stinks and she needs to have a bath. And once again tonight, somebody else is agreeing with exactly what I'm saying.
He's regretted it, tried to change it, and now his world's imploded. And I just think it shows you the sort of society we live in.
Babe? Yeah, Mike, yeah, I'll pay you Blakesby for my number, you can come on here.
Do you know what? You know why I'm starting my breakfast show tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
I was going to have you co-hosting. I might just get MG on it.
Yeah.
You might, I don't know if you pay enough though, Richard.
No, he's going to pay me.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Paul Phillips.
Jackie, she's talking about the intro there. Paul, you're being very busy. Thank you, Jackie. 5 pence. Richard Inman's song, Where Are the Men of England? Don't talk to me about that one.
7 o'clock tomorrow morning, folks. The big launch.
Let's get it to them. Go on, tell them, Richard.
Well, listen, we've got to get it. I would love to have it either Christmas number one.
This is crazy. Go
on. Either the Christmas number one or number one for Armistice Day. One of the two. I mean,
Armistice Day would be
do you know
beautiful.
what? Here's the thing, right? When you hear people talking now, when they're talking about demos, you know what they're always saying? Where are the men of England? They're actually saying, Danny Tomo's just done a video.
Danny Tomo's did one, yeah.
And he says, where's the men of England? I was thinking, Danny, look, just play my song at the end of your video, mate.
Yeah, but, exactly. Oh, yeah, copyright strike.
Well, listen, that's the problem. When you start dealing with record companies, this is the problem. Now, what's happened is, so because it's now registered with a music label, if I play Where Are the Men of England on my own channel, I get a copyright strike for playing
I woke up this morning and one of my videos has got a copyright strike for him.
It's not a strike, Paul. It's not. You haven't got a slap on the wrist. You're not going to lose your channel over it, mate. You're just going to lose a bit of revenue. Get over it.
Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, that was funny. But tomorrow morning, the first of your... Well, I laid in bed and watched you this morning, Richard, so it's not really a first, is it?
You lay in bed and watched me this morning?
Yeah,
Did you have binoculars?
No, you was on this morning, or was it yesterday morning?
It was this morning.
This morning.
So I'm just in a bit of a playful mood tonight, Paul. Don't worry about it, mate. And I haven't even been drinking. That's
we will get round to the serious stuff.
This might be a long one tonight. We've got 1,800 people watching. Please, guys, can you give me a thumbs up without me having to keep asking out? We'd really appreciate that.
Send this. If anyone's got contact with Mike Graham, send this to Mike Graham and tell him if you want to know anything about broadcasting on YouTube. Don't speak to me. Speak to Paul Thorpe.
Mike, come on here. Because I want to ask you why you told the world that Tommy's a racist. Come on, be a man and come on.
Own up to it and say sorry and apologise.
If you don't get the right answers, you get more.
Do you know what though? It'd be right if he comes and apologises.
No food for a week. Right, let's go for a few topics, Richard. We've got a lot to go through. We'll whisk through a few and then we'll get on to the main one as the show progresses. Now, for me, let's talk about this for a minute.
For fuck's sake.
This is obviously a right mess.
I'm not laughing about the grooming guy. I'm laughing about the picture of Jess
Phillips is a mess.
Smell her from here, can't you? She so needs a
smell her from here.
Oh, mate.
I've never seen a woman that looks so much like she needs to jump in the shower. No disrespect, but she's just,
Yeah,
it's the deal.
Word we could use, but we're not going to use it because it wouldn't be polite.
No, it wouldn't be polite.
Listen, I'm not going to attack her for her personal appearance because we don't know what she's going through, Paul. You know what I mean? She could have a very stressful life.
Good for her.
Being a minister and all.
Well, I think she's losing the plot, mate, to be honest with you.
Well, I think, now this is where it does get serious. And again, because I've spoken to not the girls that were, I don't know if any of the girls that we spoke to are involved in this inquiry, but because I spoke to the girls that were in the first 3 episodes of ROB from Telford. I know what it takes to gain the trust of those young women, right, who have been through horrendous ordeals, and they're not victims, they're survivors, because they really are survivors, because a lot of them aren't there, a lot of them, haven't made it, right? So these are the ones that survived without doing themselves real serious harm or getting really heavily into drugs or or even passing away. So these girls are extremely
Just haven't
resilient.
heard my story yet.
They should be heroines of every woman in our nation, right?
Yeah,
every
like
woman
me.
in our nation should look at these girls and see what they've been through, and the fact that they're still functioning. I mean, Sammy Woodhouse is a prime example. I think Sammy is a shining light of how someone not only survives, but turns things round. And you know, like, again, I don't know all Sammy's story, but I've spoke to Sammy, you know, from time to time about what she went through, and it's just absolutely incredible that these women are able to do this. And then for Jess, and this is why Jeff Phillips must resign, Paul. For Jess Phillips to turn it on the victims, the survivors, for Jess Phillips to do that on these girls that have bravely come forward. Again, we've seen them on the TV, very articulate, very intelligent young women, and for Jess Phillips to basically call them liars from the dispatch box because they're not playing by the rules that government set. And I honestly don't believe that these young women are lying when they say that the government wanted to expand the remit. Why would they lie about that?
Yeah.
If you're going to tell a lie, you're either covering something up, right, or you're going to get some gain out of it. There is no gain for these young women in lying about that. So to me, the only people who have got anything to gain and anything to cover up is Jess Phillips and other people involved in the inquiry.
And the Labour Party.
And the Labour Party.
I mean, look.
So she has to, Paul, she has to go. She absolutely has to
go.
go.
Absolutely.
For no other reason. I mean, if we're talking about Mike Graham lying, what Jess Phillips has done
is worse.
Again, we don't know for sure, but on the
it's far worse than what
the logic
done.
that I just put forward,
like
I'd say it's very highly likely that Jess Phillips is lying. And that means
it's okay, it's made a mistake.
Listen, if she's lying,
it's not the end of the world, it's
a
silly little mistake.
She should
Everybody's
end up
allowed to make a mistake, but she's that type of mistake what she's making. She's getting paid to do that.
She's got it
No, she's
right.
paid to do this job.
If you want a proper gang inquiry, if you want it done properly, with no stone left unturned and the real perpetrators brought to justice,
Mike's just
these
a
are
little
the two
fish in the
people
water.
that should be
Sorry,
leading
he's just a little
I
fish
don't agree.
in
I don't agree.
the water.
Look,
yeah, I like
basically,
it.
whenever we were doing stuff about the about this issue before,
Well,
again,
she
was very reluctant to get involved in dealing with anyone connected with us, and also
with them.
she was reluctant at that time to talk about the fact that they were Pakistani Muslims. For a long time, she would not say that publicly on television. So I have misgivings
about
Maggie Oliver. Right? Now, again, it's not a personal thing. I'm not attacking a character. I'm not defaming her in any way. But I think
she's just a bit with Mike Graham and stuff.
There's issues there.
What about Peter? I think Peter will be great.
Peter. I mean, the thing about Peter is this his area of speciality? I mean, you know,
he's a former detective.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's worked with survivors. Gamble, the guy that's resigned, and I don't know why he resigned, because again, he didn't really give a very good explanation as to why he resigned. Some of that he spat the dummy out because some of the survivors were, there's a lot of stuff not making sense, so we're not getting the full story about exactly what's happened in that inquiry. But Gamble, I've followed him for a long time. He was in the old RUC in Northern Ireland. Then he got heavily involved in dealing with different sexual assault cases and grooming cases. So he has a lot of experience in it. So, and he resigned, I think, from the police 15 years ago because he was annoyed with the way that certain cases were being handled. So Gamble, if any police officer, I would have thought, when I heard he'd resigned, I was actually really shocked by it. And then when I saw him on GB News, I was like, it doesn't sound like he's got those girls' best interests at heart, you know what I mean? So there's something just isn't sounding right about any of this. And I think the Labour Party set this up to fail.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they've thrown Jess Phillips under, but maybe they've thrown her under as well, mate.
I think they're going to try and kick this can so far down the road that by the time this comes out, the next election will be in the rearview mirror.
Maybe
so this will be in the
next
government's inbox, which won't be the Labour Party. No matter how much they try and lie and steal and cheat their way to winning the next election, It's not going to happen. They ain't going to be the next government. If we get a lefty government next, man, I'll be on the plane to Spain.
Yeah.
And I'll be living in your shed, mate. You know what I mean?
I'll live in the fucking shed with you.
But no, I think that's what they're doing, Paul. I think they're kicking the can down the road. Which I think is reprehensible because it's still going on. We know it's still going on. I think
still going on.
They've probably changed their way of operating slightly. They're probably going for slightly older girls. HMOs are going to be massively involved. When we were doing those films, we just didn't have the resources. But we started looking at HMOs because we got intel on HMOs that had young women in them, and we just didn't have the money to basically pay the surveillance guys to do what they need to do. The surveillance guys were doing it for nothing, basically. They were doing it for petrol, and that was it. But we just, it cost that much. I mean, making all those documentaries, like, if you think about it, Paul, well, not we, I mean, I was involved in the first 3, but Tommy's now, I think, done 5 of these documentaries. Normally, to do that, you would be looking at a budget over £1 million to do that, right? If you were a broadcaster. And Tommy's done it on a shoestring. So, and again, there's only so much you can do. But in fact, I do want to talk to you about something when we get off air, because I think there is mileage in maybe looking at some bits of intelligence that's been coming in, because I think there's still a lot that we could do now on getting on live cases that are actually happening right now. But it's a question if we get the resources and get something put together.
Interesting, we'll talk about that. This one's for you, Rich. Thank you, Richard, for your Sunday service. I'm looking forward to the next one. It helps me enormously.
Well, no, I mean, listen, Big Sue, it's an absolute pleasure. It keeps me sane. That's what I'm going to say. It keeps me sane, because in this crazy world, we need something to trust in. We need someone to trust in. That's where I'm at with that. It's definitely made a big difference to me.
Richard, you're a former serviceman, and this was in the news today. Your thoughts on this?
Wow, where do you want to start? My goodness.
Paratrooper is cleared of double murder. Soldier F finally walks free, but more could be targeted by Labour's Northern Ireland witch hunt.
Well, yeah, I mean, it should never have happened. They should never have gone to court. I mean, I was listening to that guy Nelson that does GB News. He's a lefty pundit, lefty journalist. Forget his first name. But anyway,
Richard, am I right in saying that even if found guilty under the Good Friday Agreement, they wouldn't get prosecuted anyway?
They wouldn't go to prison. No, I think they would. I think they'd do a very short time in prison, but I think they would go to prison. That's the thing about it. And of course, then not just that, your reputation and everything is completely destroyed. But I think they would do some time in prison. I think even people that are convicted end up doing a very short time in prison, even from the paramilitary groups, because even though a lot of these people got letters of comfort, but the ones that didn't get letters of comfort, there have been cases, I think, where people have done a short time in prison, but they could be people that committed crimes after the Good Friday Agreement.
Okay.
But what happened was Blair gave undertakings to the paramilitary groups in Northern Ireland, both Loyalist and Republican, that any crimes that had been committed before 1998 nobody would do any serious time in prison for them, right? And all the prisoners were released that had been involved in the most heinous mass murders, and they were just let out. I mean, the guy that did the Shankill Road bombing in 1993, and I remember to this day. I mean, I remember hearing about that. I was actually in a shopping centre in Bangor when it happened. I'm miles away, but there was just a chill through the whole country. So people can't imagine the horror that was unleashed on Northern Ireland. That's why I'm so adamant about what we do. We have to do peacefully. We have to make sure that we don't go down the road of conflict. And again, I've got a few ideas about that.
Well, we're going to come to that later as well.
Yeah, but this issue with Soldier F, he wasn't, as far as I know, and I could be wrong in this, but as far as I know, he was a Special Forces soldier after he was in the parachute regiment. So he didn't just have a career in the parachute regiment, he had a career in the SAS as well. Now, I could be wrong on that. Fact, anyone who wants to fact check me, they can fact check me. But a very, very highly decorated soldier, highly professional soldier. Now, what was alleged today by one of the commentators was that there was no rioting in Londonderry when that happened. That is just a lie. The footage clearly shows there was rioting in Londonderry when that happened. And the other thing is this, that the parachute regiment are trained to be extremely aggressive, right? More aggressive than normal infantry regiments. Normal infantry regiments can be pretty aggressive. So they're the shock troops. And things have been getting worse and worse and worse at the Londonderry. There's no-go zones and all that sort of stuff. And the commanding officer of the parachute regiment basically, from what I can gather, more or less said, take the gloves off, right? Now, why are the soldiers, that lad was probably a private soldier or a corporal or a lance corporal at the time. So not a major, not a general, not a colonel, just a bloke on the ground, right? Who is in a situation where they've obviously been told to be aggressive, and the next thing you know, shots start getting fired. There was also talk at the time, and again, I haven't followed the actual the case very closely because it was way before my time, Paul.
Yeah.
But there was also talk that Martin McGuinness was meant to have fired shots from a submachine gun on that day. Of course, Martin McGuinness was an agent of the state as well. So if you want to talk about the state killing people, Martin McGuinness himself was an agent that was killing people. So that's another story. So it's very convoluted. And the other thing is, Paul, when you're in a situation, and you know this, you've dealt with firearms, you're in a situation, if you're on a shooting range and a target pops up, you're going to shoot it, right? Now, in Northern Ireland, it was very, very murky. And I can give you a couple of instances. I was on patrol twice in Armagh, and once we got shot at, or we thought we got shot at, we went flying through a hedge line, got through the hedge line, there's a guy standing there with a weapon, right? And we didn't shoot him. And the reason we didn't shoot him is because it was a shotgun. And he was probably out shooting game, right?
Yeah.
The guy pissed himself when he saw, 4 soldiers burst through a bush pointing rifles at him, right? Literally pissed himself. But the point is, under the rules of engagement, back then we could have shot him. But I'm convinced if we'd have shot him that we would be in exactly the same position Soldier F's in. So that's a split-second decision that can change your life forever, right?
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything illegal. It's just you either react or you don't react. I had another situation in Armagh where I saw a guy with a weapon and I just didn't have enough time to engage him. Happened again in Belfast. So there's 3 or 4 times where we could have engaged people and we didn't. And if we had done, you can guarantee by the time we got to the body, the weapon would have gone, and you'd have been charged with murder, or you'd have been accused of murder, and then you'd have ended up in the same situation as Soldier F. So Dennis Hutchins was the last man to go through a trial in Belfast with these kangaroo courts, and he died in a prison hospital, the Crumlin Road, the Mater Hospital on the Crumlin Road, of COVID, when he should have been with his family. Absolute disgusting. The man had cancer, and they dragged him backwards and forwards to Northern Ireland. And I think what's happened is the victims of these trouble shootings have been weaponised by Republicans and by the left and by sinister actors. And
there's also a lot of money involved as well.
Well, yeah, of course, for lawyers. I mean, the ambulance chasing lawyers, absolutely. There's a shed load of money in it for them. But a lot of the victims and the survivors of the victims have been weaponised. And I don't blame them because they've lost a loved one. One of my friends that I worked with for many years, his brother was in the IRA and his brother was shot by the British Army. Now, he was very honest about it. He said, look, at the end of the day, it was a war. And, he was in the IRA, they were the army and they shot him, and that's it. He was very matter of fact about it. But on the day of his brother's funeral, the UVF set off a car bomb outside his house. Do you know what I mean? So that's how brutal the violence was at that time. And nobody can comprehend it. And nobody can comprehend what soldiers were going through when they were serving in Northern Ireland. Because you were constantly, even on my day, and obviously I was, mid-80s, there was a lot happening, but it wasn't as bad as it was in the mid-70s. Of course, in the 90s it wasn't as bad as it was in the 80s. But the point is, nobody, unless you've been in that position, can point the finger at that soldier and say that he committed murder.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe any of them went out there premeditatedly to kill someone. Somebody got killed because shots were fired. And when you shoot 7.62 high velocity rounds,
of course, their argument will be that they were unarmed citizens.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I've got a friend who was in the parachute regiment at the time, and he says no, they weren't. He says there was people there that were armed, and he says the whole thing's been a stitch up. Now I don't know because I wasn't there, Paul. And that's why I'm not. I'm not going to say.
And I was 10.
Yeah, exactly, and I was 3. Yeah, I was 3.
33.
I know, mate. I know, but yeah. So I think for the families of the soldier, it's a tragedy for the families of the victims, the survivors of the the victims' families. It's a tragedy for the other people that are scoring political points off it. I think they're all pretty reprehensible, whichever political side they're on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, of course, these trials shouldn't be going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's got to be compassion for the family. I mean, see, to be honest, I think it cost 200 million to do the Savile inquiry, right? 200 million pounds.
Yeah.
And what I said at the time when the Savile inquiry was going, I said, tell you what, how many survivors are there? What was it, 13 people? Was it 13 people killed? 13 people shot, 13 people killed. However many was killed? Okay, 200 million. Tell you what, give them 5 million each. And say, there you go, we apologise and there's 5 million quid. Wouldn't that solve the problem? Rather than giving it to ambulance chasing lawyers and barristers and judges?
Yeah, probably.
You know?
Let's move on, mate. Look, this one. Look, this is this is a
I've
cracker.
given
This
me
is
the compensation with
Poynton, who had
chasing
receding hairline and grey hair, wins case after judge quashes counsel decision that he was clearly an adult and rules he was only 16. A migrant from Syria who has a receding hairline and grey hair. Sounds a bit like you, Richard. Has won
I don't have any grey hair.
Has won an age case after immigration judge ruled he was 16. I mean, this is just a farce, isn't it? I mean, are they taking the piss? I mean, we're both laughing, but it's not funny, is it?
Mate.
We're laughing because it's so frigging ridiculous. Mate, if there's a bloke sitting next to my grandchildren at school with grey hair,
yeah,
right, and he's going bald, right, I'm going to be in there dragging him out by what hair he's got left.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's sitting next to my grandchildren.
I've actually got a picture of the guy here. Just
can you get it up?
I'm going to try and get it up here, mate. I'll just see if I can get it up.
No, it's going to make me laugh. If it's going to make me laugh, don't put it up. Oh dear. I mean, seriously. I mean, how many boys at 16 are going bald and have got grey hair?
No, I mean,
and a judge rules that he was 16.
It is absolutely ridiculous, Paul. It really is ridiculous.
And by the way, if they can tell how old a dead man is, if they can tell how old, but I watched the programme this morning when I was digging up a battlefield from medieval period, and they one victim, they said, oh, he was about 17, right?
Yeah.
He died 600 years ago, 800 years ago, and they can tell he was 17. Why can't they tell us how old a living bloke is by looking at his teeth?
Exactly.
You can tell how old a horse is by looking in his mouth. Why not a bloke? I'm not even a dentist.
Let me see if I can find this image. Hold on, Paul. Let's see if I can find it.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll go through some of the chat. Nigel Nelson, Starmer's mate, Peter Blexley with Liam Tufts tells a lot of this undercover work on Liam Tufts. Yeah. A lot of people saying Maya Raja. This is for the grooming gang inquiry.
Well, I mean, again, I think one of the problems you've got. I mean, people are talking about Shabana Mahmood doing it. Who the heck? I mean, no disrespect. You can't have a Pakistani woman
to do it.
running an inquiry about Pakistani grooming gangs. I mean, like, what are these people even thinking? Do you know what I mean, Paul? It's absolutely
no one wants her
bonkers.
to do it.
Absolutely crazy.
So,
but
thank you, Big T. Thank you, Walsh Lady. Really appreciate that. And also thanks to Robert for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Steve S. Away day Sunday at Saints. A lot of people going.
Oh yes. I mean, Danny's been talking about that a lot. So he has, but no, that's not it. So yeah, Danny's been talking about it quite a lot. So I think
Danny Tomo's talking about.
Yeah. I think if people can get there, they really should get there, because I think it's. He
made a great point earlier.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
Yeah, made a great point.
I think Danny's really been, totally smashing this, to be honest with you, and it needs someone to get involved and to really push it, that can push it. Do you know what I mean, Paul?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
well, look, the bottom line is, I mean, what I like, what he said earlier on, is about, you mentioned the football again, and I keep saying it, that if they can travel around the country to see 11 men kick a football around, they can surely go down to Southampton to support their own people.
I absolutely, totally agree with you. I mean, that's, that is definitely There's definitely the way.
And we're not talking about the football lads now because they've always been on board.
Yeah, the football. Listen, I mean, when I started this, what we did, we always did stuff with the whatchamacallit, with the football lads. Yeah, so.
Have you found this picture or you painted it?
No, forget about it, Paul. It's just.
I thought you was painting it for a minute.
No, mate, I know.
Ivan, thank you. After bloody Sunday, the rules of engagement got even tougher for us.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this one. Moment hotel migrant carries out sex attacks on multiple women while cycling through town as he spared prison after claiming he was unfamiliar with UK laws.
That is just absolutely despicable. It's absolutely, completely despicable. That just shouldn't be happening.
I mean, again, I'll tell you a little story, right? It's a little story that's happened within our family group.
Yeah.
So, back in England, a member or part of our family, their cat went missing.
Yeah.
And they got the whole neighbourhood out looking for the cat. And the house backs onto like a bit of wooded land, right? Just down the road, there's a migrant hotel. Whilst they're over there looking for the cat, there's some geezer over in the woods, peeking at all the kids.
Yeah.
They catch him.
Did they get him?
Well, they got him, but what are they going to do with him? Call the police? They don't want to know.
This is the thing. You can't do anything, can you? Unless they actually commit a crime, you can't do anything. So that and this is happening time and time again. And I mean that thing in Southampton. I don't know if you've seen the footage, but I mean basically you're in a situation where there was Muslims walking alongside them, really sticking it on the people that were on the march.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Don't ever come here again. Next time there'll be 50,000 of us.
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. But let's see. Let's see what happens on Sunday. I mean, I think there's going to be a good turnout on Sunday. So people really need to get there. I mean, again, obviously I can't get there. But people that are in that part of England, everyone. If I was living in that part of England, I'd be there without a shadow of a doubt. If that had happened over here, I'd be there.
I mean, with all this going on with our kids being threatened, with the 16-year-old, and the migrant that's not going to jail because he didn't know the rules, and then you got to put up with this bullshit.
I'm so sorry that we're meeting in these circumstances because that was a horrific attack that will have impacted every single member of the community. We've just been talking to some of the family members and getting a sense firsthand of the personal impact. I'm really pleased today that we are announcing a further £10 million to support our mosques on top of the support we've already put in. I'm pleased to say that. I'm sad to say it as well, in a sense, because I wish we didn't need to put in more security. We shouldn't need to have security in places of worship. And it's sad that we do, but that just reflects the responsibility on me, on the Home Secretary, to do everything we can to tackle hate crime.
What do you know where he was talking about here, Richard? I've got a funny feeling.
No, I think he was talking, maybe he was talking about what happened in Sheffield with Harvey Wilgoose. Maybe he was talking about that, Paul, an attack.
No, I don't think it was, Richard.
Maybe the synagogue attack?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I think, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think he's talking about the attack on the mosque in Peacehaven, where I used to live.
No, he is, Paul. I was being funny. I mean, he is talking about...
Oh, I know that, Richard, I know, But what I'm saying is, if he was...
Yeah, he is talking about
that. Like, that sort of thing's been happening in churches for years.
Yep. And we still don't know who did it, because nobody's been caught.
Exactly.
Nobody's been caught. There's a little bit of grainy CCTV footage. Okay, the faces look white on CCTV footage. That's because of what That's night vision cameras. They make everybody look white. You know what I mean?
Look, Richard, it doesn't matter who did it. Right? At the end of the day, what I can tell you is this: is that before the night was out, there was a massive fundraiser being put up, and now they're chucking in 10 million quid. I mean, let me tell you now, if it's going towards that mosque in Peacehaven,
that's what it's
that
for.
mosque in Peacehaven, let me tell you now, because I've been outside myself within about 50 feet of it, is not even the size of a one-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Oh.
So with 10 million quid, you could build about 50 of them.
Yeah. Or it could be that other mosque where it's somewhere in Northamptonshire that was attacked the same weekend, and the guy that did it was a Muslim.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And she was standing there with Banana Mahmood, and you know, and all the women were all hijabbed up. I was surprised. Normally they don't let the women in to stand next to the men in the mosque. So I was surprised.
Well, it's probably good for a bit of PR, isn't it?
Well, this is the whole thing, you know. But it's crazy, Paul. And look, what about the 50 billion black hole? 10 million quid, there we go, loose change. That's nothing to me, I'm the Prime Minister, 10 million quid. It's not my money.
What about 10 million pounds to the grooming gang
And let me tell you
scandal?
something, Peacehaven is a very working class area. There's plenty of
How about
families
10
in
million pounds to
Peacehaven
the
who could do with a leg up, I'll tell you that.
victims like
Yeah.
me?
Well, maybe they can go to the mosque for the handout now. Do you know what's happening, Paul? We're paying the jizya tax.
Yeah.
The jizya tax is the tax that people pay to Muslims so they don't attack them. We're actually paying that. When you look at what we're paying on hotels, migrants, healthcare for inbred cousin marriages, all the rest of the stuff, prison places, the whole shooting gallery, we're probably paying 2% out of our tax money to support these people, right? And so we are paying a jizya tax. It's simple as that. We're already paying a jizya tax.
Do you know what? I'm sick of the racism, mate. And I'll tell you what, the racism is all coming one way.
It's all coming one way, Paul. There is the anti-white racism from some of these commentators. That Narinda flipping clueless and
do you know what? I never
bushy
even
hair,
talk about
whatever her name is, bushy hair Khan or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Just vile race bait.
I never bother with them, mate. I never bother with them.
Dr. Amiola flipping whatever her name is. They're just disgusting people. They're absolutely and don't mention Kahiki.
They're racist. They're
racist. They are anti-white racist. They're
absolute
bigots.
Racist.
Absolute bigots. I saw someone. Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. I caught this video the other day, and it was another annoying one. I think this is from last weekend or maybe the weekend before. Let's have a little look at this.
They're mixing up two different things, or Section 14 isn't something I've heard of. But I'm not sure how we stand with Britain's Jews reaches the terrorism act, but we'll see. Maybe it's the Union Jack that we've got on there. Who knows these days? I mean, this is seriously is a joke.
Oh yeah, Mark. That's it. Yeah. Given when you get to custody.
Yeah.
When you get your process, and someone will be able to explain to you.
Oh wow, I'm really grateful. This isn't like a train running late, right? You're about to lock me up for hours, yeah, for nothing. You're not telling me that my train is late, so don't say, you know, and then somebody will be able to explain it to you.
Mark, I understand.
And also, you said earlier you're going to wait until the march is passed before you get a van. So we're going to stand here for nearly 2 hours, just wasting my time for standing there with a placard that said, "We stand with Britain's Jews." Right? Like, seriously, what you've done.
I'm not saying
what you're all doing, right?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can see with a sign.
No, you're saying that I was breaching the peace. Forget the sign. Even before that, you said I was breaching the peace for standing with a sign that says "We stand with Britain's Jews." With in the middle a Manchester B, signifying the murder of 2 people in a synagogue this week, and you're saying I'm breaching the peace and potentially a terrorist. It's a joke. It's a joke. Isn't it? Don't follow the rules, I know.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video, Richard?
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. I knew that guy. I know who that guy is. He's a good guy. And
I
he's
have
incredible,
seen it,
man.
I've seen
It's
it,
incredible. So he's been arrested.
He's not Jewish. He stands with the Jewish people because he's very disturbed about what's happening. He's kind of like you know, a Schindler. You know. I mean, he's basically standing with the Jewish people at cost to himself.
And he's been arrested for standing with a sign saying "We stand with Britain's Jews," right? And then somebody on the other side is carrying a sign that says Manchester B.
Yeah.
And they get away with that.
No, I think did he say he had the oh, sorry, did he
the
not have
impression I got was that the other side had a sign that
I
said
thought-
Manchester
I
B,
thought
which
he
meant
had the
Manchester
Manchester
2.
Oh no, I thought he had the Manchester B.
But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, Richard, what have we come to?
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, this is the
what
thing.
have we come to?
This is why, you know, when you look at what's happened in the last week, we've had Aston, right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely disgusting, and it's gone away. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
And the Tel Aviv football team, and I'm convinced they were put under pressure. I'm convinced that Starmer got in touch with the Israeli government, said, "Can you help us out with this?" And said, "Can you put pressure on the club to basically not give tickets to the supporters, or something's gone on," because that got Starmer straight off the hook, right? Got the police in Birmingham straight off the hook, and then that vile, disgusting MP. I'm not going to name him, but that vile, disgusting MP who we've got a picture of standing with the Telford grooming gangs, right? He basically starts virtue signaling and threatening to sue people that are calling him anti-Semite. That's why I'm not naming him, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. Absolutely disgusting. And
I mean, Sarah Sultana's been at it again in Parliament today, whining about. She's managed to turn this into Islamophobia.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible, Paul. I mean, it is
You couldn't
absolutely
make it up,
incredible.
could you? You
What they
could
do.
not make it up.
And they do it with straight faces, you know.
Yeah.
And
It's all about the
honestly,
grooming
these
gangs.
people are Islamists, right?
Yeah, it's all
And
about the grooming
what
gangs
we
and the
need to
rape
do, we
gangs and
need.
everything.
Well, I've got a plan.
It's all
I've got a
involved.
plan of how we can
Everything
deal
is
with these
linked
people. And it's
together.
legal. Don't worry, it's nothing. It's nothing
Yeah.
dodgy.
We're
But we
going to
can
find
deal
out
with
that
it. We can
all
make
this
it-
is linked together.
Normal Muslims, my plan. Normal Muslims won't give two hoots about it, because normal Muslims, they're not keeping the food laws. They're just like us, right? But for the nutcase extremists, I've got a plan how we can actually rein them in and put them back in the box.
When are you going to release that plan?
I did it today on a video.
Oh, so go and watch the
Yeah,
video.
well, basically, yeah. But you can watch the video if you want. No, it's a lot. It's 18 minutes long, Paul. But basically, you ban halal. That's the first thing. You ban halal slaughter. That's
Yeah.
an animal welfare thing all day long. The Labour government could do that tomorrow. They won't do it because they're cowards and they don't want to upset
Yeah,
the
that's
Islamists,
King
right?
Charles.
Let's
Halal
we're not
King
talking about normal
Charles
Muslims here.
again.
We're talking about Islamists and we're talking about
Yeah, King
fundamentalist
Charles.
Muslims, right? So we're not talking about the guy in the barber shop that drinks
He's
and
got
smokes
halal
and
meat.
whatever, right? We're talking about the nutcases. So
It's like King
you ban
Charles then.
halal, what are they going to eat? You ban Sharia courts, how
What
are they
we're
going to
gonna
deal with
do-
all the marriage
law-
difficulties?
law, yeah.
When Mohammed
But
wants
they'll
to take
always
them
do them behind closed doors.
Well, yeah, but if you make it illegal for them to practice the two-tier.
Well, it's illegal to block buses, Richard, but they plot it.
Well, it
don't they,
is, but
some
the
of them,
point
you know.
is if it's illegal, it's illegal, and you can arrest people and take them before the courts.